Welcome back, everyone, to more from the Sableyes. I'm here today with Jordan. How are we doing, Jordan?
I'm doing well, thank you, Mitch.
That is good, and today we've got another matchup on PTCGO. I'm going to be playing ADP, the list of which you can see in front of me. And Jordan, you're going to be playing Mewmew, which is exciting. It's a deck that we haven't really featured that much, one that we kind of expected would go away, but I think it's still going to be just as strong in this format as it was in the past one.
Yeah, it's definitely still got a lot of really cool tools I can play with, and it's got a lot of new cards as well. Actually, when I rebuilt this deck today, I was surprised at how many of the cards from the new set I was including. Ended up being, I think, like 10 to 12 cards I'm playing from the new set. Not different cards, obviously, but just like total cards in the list is pretty high, so it does change quite a bit. Gets a few cool tools, and we'll have to wait and see if it can deal with some of the new threats it gets in this new set.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I've not started particularly well here, but I do have a tag call in hand, so I can play that and potentially grab myself a Mallow Lana. I'm going to grab a ADP as well, but I'm kind of in a good position in that I've started with Keldeo-GX, which is realistically the only Pokemon that I need to have in this matchup. Although there is a part of me that wants to just Mallow Lana into this Jirachi right now. I think I'm going to do it. I think it's still worth doing because I don't want to brick into nothing. And it's not bricking into nothing, that's something. I can live with that. I'm going to grab an Ends Resolve off of this Jirachi, and then I'm going to just pass the turn. I mean, no, I'll bench this, and then I'll pass.
Yeah, fair enough. You've got the dragon in play, which is good for the ends next turn.
Yeah.
Once you get yourself set up, I think like the GX attack isn't going to be super huge because I feel like you're two-hitting me most of the time anyway.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be worth getting that attacker into play. All right, so I'm playing one of the new cards that we have access to in this new deck, and that is Tag Call, which is a pretty cool card for this deck.
It's very exciting to be able to search for those cards.
Gives me my Mewtwo, and also a new support that this deck is playing, and that is Cynthia and Caitlin, because previous Mewtwo lists were always playing like obviously the 4-welder, and they'd also have like a Bills or a Harpoo or whatever backup support, sometimes coach trainers, a whole bunch of different niche supports that people would play in their lists. But we can play Cynthia Caitlin now, which is my personal favorite one of the lot. And that's going to give us access to extra welders, which is going to be really useful as well.
Yeah, it's going to be able to guarantee it, which is one of the things that Mewtwo kind of struggled with. Unlike Ability Zard, which is kind of more likely to get the welders, Cynthia Caitlin really strong in this list. And it looks like you started off pretty well here, Jordan. Discarding Chaotic Swell, that's a good discard, knowing that my deck only plays Chaotic Swell.
I've got an okay hand here. The only thing I'm actually missing here is a good Pokemon to put in the discard pile, because if I had a Cherish Ball instead of a Treasure, I could get rid of like my Solgaleo here and really start applying pressure in this game. But the only attacker in my deck that wasn't prized is actually the Latios there, so I'm not going to be able to pull off any useful attacks without access to Psychic Energy this turn. But I still get 3 Fire Energy into play, so can't complain about that. It's certainly a solid turn. I'm happy to pass there.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid one. There's the Chaotic Swell, so you're out of stadiums for now.
That's right.
I need to find a way to switch here, and that switch will do the job. So if I can find myself a couple of energy off of this Ends Resolve, I'll be feeling really good. 1, 2, 3, nice! So not only do I not need to use an energy from my hand, I can also I can choose the GX here. I don't think I really need to. I think I'm happy to just hit into Ultimate Ray and start setting up my Pokemon in the field of play. That seems fine.
Kind of awkward actually, because like you got to think that the damage doesn't feel like it's putting in heaps of work when it's on my Espeon Deoxys. You'd much rather be hitting into the Mewtwo, obviously. But you also didn't really need the energy acceleration. You were very lucky to have the triple energy there, which was really useful.
Yeah. The reason that I've gone for the Ultimate Ray, Jordan, onto the SPDO rather than using anything else as well is because SPDO has 260, which means I can knock it out with Keldeo. So all I need is a great catcher. If you do manage to put it on the bench, I can kill it with a Keldeo. The Mewtwo's going to be tougher. I'm going to need to find another way to kill this Mewtwo, though.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm really showing off the use of Cynthia and Caitlin here. I was able to discard one of my GX Tech Pokemon and then get my welder back to hand, draw 3 cards. So I've actually got access to the one-hit KO on this Arceus Dialga Palkia if I want to.
Oh my goodness.
And the Charizard I just discard does 300 damage for 4 energy, which is exactly what I have access to right now.
It is.
Yeah, I'm kind of considering going for that, to be honest. I'm just trying to think if it's worth saving my GX attack for something else in this matchup. It does feel kind of bad to waste it this early, but I think it's probably worth going for.
Yeah, it probably is. Get yourself another Mewtwo if you'd like as well. My matchup in this game is very awkward in that I'm going to be relying on Keldeo, and the fact that I'm 3 prizes down already without doing anything is a bit of an issue. But that's okay. It's going to be fine.
Ideally. I mean, you'd expect that Arceus Dialga Palkia is usually going to survive a turn. Because, I don't know, I mean, 280 HP is pretty good. But you're versing one of the decks that can apply it turn 2 300 damage pretty consistently.
Yeah, it's
which is scary. But of course, you do have to keep in mind that you didn't go for the GX attack, you instead went for Ultimate Ray, so you've got yourself a backup attacker ready to go already, whereas usually if you just GX attacked and then did nothing, I'd be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, well, it's kind of awkward because now I'm relying on you a lot here. I top deck Mallow and Lana, so I could have gone into the Jirachi if I'd risked it. But yeah, so I'm going to have to hope here that you don't have a way of dealing with this Keldeo.
Well, I really don't have a good way of dealing with this Keldeo, to be honest. I can heal off that damage if I want to, because I've got that Lana Mallow in my hand. But if I heal it off, I can switch back into the active, but then what do? I mean, there's no real good attack I can declare right now, so I think I'm better off going for a Welder, more so just to draw cards than anything else.
Yep, fair enough.
See if I can find myself an answer for this Keldeo at some point in the near future. Didn't get anything too good there, so I don't think you can actually kill me, which is good, so I can kind of just let this Mewtwo take another hit, set up the second one on the bench. Like, my board's really good this game, but...
Yeah, it's really, really strong, but there's just not a lot that... There's not a lot either of us can do here. You're just gonna... Yeah. You're gonna smack into me, and I'm gonna smack into you until eventually one of us is gonna win.
Guess I'll declare Tag Purge, because I may as well. It's not gonna do damage, it's not gonna block you, but just in case you randomly bench an ADP and then go into an Ends Resolve, chuck 3 energy on there, and then for some reason decide that Ultimate Ray is worth using. You can't do that now.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I've got a Cherish Ball here. I could pick up the Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff, which is going to be a really, really big deal in this matchup, but it's a tag team, so I can't hit into you, so I might choose to grab a Dedenne, but if I get a Dedenne, then I'm probably going to get that sniped. I think I grabbed the Dedenne, but I don't need it right now. I'm not going to play it down.
Yep.
I might wait until something happens, and so I'll just Sonic Edge here and do another 110 damage to you, put you on 220, even if you Mallow and Lana, then I might be able to sneak an attack off here if you are silly enough to bench something, but we'll see how we go. It's an awkward one.
Luckily for me, I do have the Mallow and Lana, as you know, which is it's only a one-of in this deck. It's not a huge inclusion, but it is going to be pretty useful here to kind of turn your 3-hit KO into a 4-hit KO, which I'm certainly not complaining about. And then I think because I don't really have an amazing attack to declare here, I may as well just use the Naganadel I discarded to snipe and knock out that little Jirachi on the bench, which will potentially force you to go into Dedenne at some point if you're not able to use Stellar Wish at all. So yeah, let's,
but here's the thing: if I go into that Dedenne, then I lose the game. So I'm probably just going to sit here with this Keldeo. So.
Yep, that makes sense, and I'm kind of worried about
that. It's not a lot that I can realistically do apart from just hit you with Keldeo, but, you know, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, actually, I don't remember this list too well, because I only just built it a little earlier. I'm trying to remember what my best out for Keldeo is. I'm not sure if this list has a very good one.
Oh, I guess you'd be looking for like a power plant or something, but I think if I just don't bench anything, I could potentially be okay. Power Plant won't help you because it'll just turn off your ability as well.
Power Plant is not a good card in this deck at all.
No.
Okay, I got a Welder and a Cynthia Caitlin off that Poke Gear, but I'm actually going to prioritize the Cynthia Caitlin here because getting those Lana Mallow back is going to be pretty valuable here. I'm just going to keep drawing cards until hopefully I find a search card and I can remind myself of which tech attackers I've included in this deck.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, if you've got something like Greninja, then you can start looping your Pokemon around, which will be really awkward, but yeah, it's kind of this is kind of a bit of a stalemate. We picked this matchup.
I want a Cherish Ball, so I can have a look at what Pokemon I'm playing.
We thought this
none of them are looking very
good,
to be honest. I remember I had a 63 card list, and there was a couple cards that I was playing which I had to cut down just to make the list fit to add some of these new cards in, and one of the cards that I cut was the Giratina.
Ooh, that would have been a big one.
That was possibly a bit of an oversight from me, forgetting about the fact that I was cutting my only Keldeo out. I might not actually have an answer to this Keldeo, Mitch.
Well, that should be okay. I'll just sit here and declare Sonic Edge until eventually one of us wins. We sat here thinking about what matchups we thought would be really good, and we were like, oh, Mewtwo versus ADP will be good. And, nah, turns out it's really not.
Well, it actually is a really cool matchup, because I think if I was playing that Giratina, this would be, like... I think this would just be a win for me because of how strong my start was. But as it is right now, I don't think I currently play an out to this Keldeo, besides attacking with my baby Marshadow to remove Stadium. So, yeah, I think this is actually your game. I'm just going to pass for 2 turns and let you take it, because I don't actually have a...
You have no out? Fair enough.
If we're going into a game 3, I might even just make a quick edit and add that Giratina in, so that we can actually show off how different the matchup is when I've got an answer to the Keldeo.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm happy to do that. So I'll just knock out 2 things here. Oh, I wanted to Great Catcher it. I wanted to Great Catcher that.
That's all right. I'm giving you the knockout here. Take it. Rogue me.
I think I might.
I'll discard all these cards. Not going to come in handy.
If you could put down one more Pokemon for me.
Here you go. I'll try and get one more. Let's see if I can hit one off the Acrobat.
All right. Here
we go. I got the Mysterious Treasure. You're going to get to do full damage. What are you going to do? You can hit my Mewtwo on the bench?
I want to kill the one with all the energy on it. Yeah, that would be great.
Nice. Well, here you go. You can even kill my Mega Lopunny if you want to. Have at it.
Beautiful.
Do your best.
Nah, it's alright. I'll just kill this.
Nah.
250 damage is enough. That's fine. That's fine. I can live with that.
It's weird because you don't usually see that card in that attack used in this deck, because we're not currently playing Misty Lorelei, which is a card that some people have been considering in their ADP lists. All right, so let me just really quickly.
Oh yeah, you've got to put your Giratina in.
We're gonna have a slightly more exciting game. That was a bit of a small mistake there, me forgetting that card was actually pretty important in this deck. I actually really like Giratina as well.
Giratina's a good card in Mew Mew. I'm excited to see how it goes, but yeah, no, I'm a little bit concerned if I'm not able to get my Mega Lopunny powered up, then I could be in a bit of trouble. That Mewtwo GX is very
Let's try this again.
All right, here we go. Offer the matchup. Here we go.
It has been sent.
Let's go. We're on the way.
Alright, I've got a bit more of a game plan going into this now. I was really impressed with how the deck actually performed in that game, though. I was able to
set up.
Get the turn 2 knockout on your ADP, and then the turn 3 or 4 knockout on a Jirachi.
Do you want to go
if you
first?
had benched Dedenne that game,
Sure.
Yeah, if you had benched Dedenne in that game, then I would have been in a pretty good spot to win that one.
Yes, certainly would have.
Oh boy, I've actually opened the Giratina in opening hand. Luckily, it's not my opener.
That's not the only card you've got there.
That would have been pretty awkward.
Well, I don't have a Pokemon, so I'm gonna need to hope that I get one here. Oh, hey, look, it's a Keldeo.
Oh, here we go. This sounds familiar.
This does sound familiar. It's really disappointing as well, because I've got such a good chance of starting Jirachi in this list. There's 4 of them, and it hasn't happened once.
That's funny.
So, but hey, again, I've got a Keldeo in the active. I've got something to do. It'll be fine.
Can't complain, man. It's so weird playing Tag Call in this deck, because usually Tag Call gets like your one tag team Pokemon and then one of your tech supporters. But in this deck, there's like 3 different tag teams
of different things. Yeah, exactly.
So many different cards I can get with
heaps of stuff.
In fact, I'm gonna actually just get them all out now, just because I don't want. I want to increase my odds off of drawing some good stuff with my Welder here. And if I get stamped, I don't really care about losing these cards anyway. So we'll go ahead and Welder, draw a couple cool cards.
Sounds good.
And yeah, I'm feeling like this is a pretty decent start. Maybe not like the best start I've had in this series, but certainly not complaining.
It's alright. That seems pretty strong.
I whiffed an attachment, which is a little annoying, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just donate this hand away, actually.
Yeah, fair enough.
Got a whole bunch of GX Pokemon I can bin, and I don't really need any of them in play. I could bench my Lopunny if I wanted to, but I don't think I'm ever going to use it instead of just using Mewtwo. So yeah, we'll ditch this hand and hopefully find an attachment, and if I do, I'll be feeling pretty good.
That is a lot of Pokemon that you've gotten rid of.
It is, and most of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially that Giratina in the discard pile could
that's
a bit later.
That is big. Alright, well, I've got a tag call, so I'll use that and get myself a couple of Pokemon out here, but I don't think that realistically I need to do anything other than just attach. I could have Cynthia'd this turn, but I think I'll just attach and force you to do stuff. If you go into the Giratina this turn, you go into it, and it seems fine.
Well, I kind of have to set it up with what do you call it? With
Solgaleo.
Yeah, Turbo Strike. So I can't really go into it randomly. I can go ahead and welder an extra energy into play, just so that I'm actually drawing a few extra cards here. Cool, that's not bad at all. I think I am gonna probably invest into powering up that Giratina sooner rather than later. May as well get this Chaos Swell out of the way. Eventually, that might be come in handy later on. And yeah, it was nothing too special that I need to get off of this Mysterious Treasure either. Could get a reset hole Marshadow potentially to deal with your next Chaos Swell.
Yep, that's fair.
And other than that, I think I'm actually just going to start powering up this this Giratina.
Hey, fair enough.
Although I don't have any energy in discard pile, so it's a bit awkward. I might have to wait a turn. We'll do it now. I don't think the Distortion Door damage comes up at all.
Probably not. Probably not.
The attachment off. And yeah, that's all I realistically need to do this turn. Is there any attack worth using? I don't think so. All these attacks do 0 damage, which is kind of average. So yeah, we'll pass on. I could have used like one of my GX attacks. I could have potentially gotten the Latios-GX and declare Clear Vision to stop you from using Altered Creation GX, which is pretty good. But as we said in the last game, it doesn't feel like Altered Creation GX is super important. It's definitely good, but I don't think it's worth wasting my GX attack to stop you from getting it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. This is going to be a really interesting turn, because I could play down a couple of Pokemon here that would really cripple you. Since you're going for that particular strategy, I'm going to attach to this Keldeo. We're going to retreat into the ADP, and we can see the power of that End's Resolve being able to power this up in a turn means that I can now also power up Mega Lopunny, which I'm excited about.
That is a very intimidating turn. I've already got 3 GXs in place, so you're doing 6, 12, 18, 240 damage.
Yes.
That's definitely enough to knock out my active Mewtwo.
It is.
Maybe not enough for the benched one, but I don't think you're going to be too worried about that.
No, and the fact that you don't have the Charizard in the discard pile at the moment is good for me. If I can at all get away with not being knocked out this turn, I'll be super happy.
I mean, I can very easily go for it if I want to. I don't know if it's necessarily the right play to use that attack. I could use the Magcargo-GX as well.
Yep.
I was just 50 damage plus 50 more, so I'd need quite a lot of energy in the active to pull that off. I don't think I'd be able to get there. I'm probably better off just powering up my benched Mewtwo here as well as I can. And yeah, I don't think I have any problems with that. Probably just going to be doing a half hit on your ADP, accepting that you're probably going to have access to knocking me out next turn. Yeah, that's all we're going to do.
All you're doing?
The best attack to use here, let's see, I could do Jumping Balloon if I wanted to do, which would do a lot of damage, but not enough to knock you out. So we'll settle for the Turbo Strike, I reckon.
Yep, fair enough.
Actually, wait, do I have any energy in discard? I don't think I do.
No.
No, so I may as well just use Jumping Balloon then.
Well, you may as well. Fine. That's not a problem at all.
I had 1 energy in the discard pile, but not in this scenario, it seems.
Alright, well...
A fine turn. It's not ideal, but it'll do.
It's kind of an awkward situation to be in, because I could Mallow and Lana here, but I'd need to discard pretty much my entire hand. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach to the Keldeo, and then play down this Jirachi and Cynthia. I've already got enough Pokemon in play that it's going to be over if you do choose to attack me. I've got an escape board here. Where am I going to put that? This is actually interesting, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the ADP, as weird as that sounds. And then I'm going to retreat into Mega Lopunny here, and I will get rid of the water and the water. That seems fine. Just because now I've still got an energy in play. If you don't knock me out, you don't knock me out. I'll just knock you out with Jumping Balloon, bang, and now I'm the one who's in the lead.
That's pretty powerful. Because if I want to knock out your Lopunny, I'm going to need at least a Welder. Because currently, I only have 1 energy on this benched Mewtwo. If I had the extra energy in the discard pile, I probably could have used Turbo Strike to charge up for the knockout this turn. But yeah, it's going to be a little harder this turn. I don't currently have access to a welder. My hand's actually pretty weak right now. I'm probably just going to be forced to use Cynthia and Caitlin here to get a welder back into hand and draw 3 cards.
Yeah, no, that's not
the biggest
super
problem
strong.
here is the fact that I'm actually whiffing energy in total. Like, I don't even have an attachment right now.
Oh, wow, really?
But we managed to get one off the Cynthia Caitlin, so not all hope is lost.
Oh, that stuff is happening. The issue here, though, is that you're gonna turbo strike to nothing, realistically.
Well, the Giratina is a pretty good target.
Oh, I guess that's true. That's fair, that's fair.
Or I can bench a Mewtwo and turbo strike to that.
Yep. Which
will give you a lot of damage, but the fact that you have an Ultra Creation GX means that it's not enough damage to kill me. Like, to win the game, effectively. So
fair enough, yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it, because, I mean, I kind of don't want to have my my Mewtwo hit for too much damage, but I really do feel like I'm going to need to power up another Mewtwo at some point in this game. It's probably going to be worth doing. Let me just check, make sure I've actually got energy in the discard pile this turn. I do indeed. So yeah, I think we're going to let you do the extra damage here, because it's a 2-hit regardless, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, declare Turbo Strike. Man, I feel like if I had that one extra energy in play to get the one-hit KO on this Lopunny, I'd be in a super good spot. I'd just have to do 20 damage to your ADP on the bench, sorry, not 40 damage to your ADP on the bench to win the game, and the fact that I've got Espeon Deoxys in the discard pile already would make that super easy to pull off. But yeah, it's going to be pretty awkward to try and close out the game now.
Yeah, so my play here is kind of awkward as well. You've got like 8 cards in your hand. I don't realistically need to stamp you now, but I also feel like I don't want to lose out on my opportunities to do things. So I think I am going to play Reset Stamp here. Stamp you to 6, give you 1 less card for next turn, or 2 less cards for next turn.
Especially since you knew I was holding the welder, that's a pretty strong play.
Yeah, I'm not super like convinced about it. Like, I could potentially find myself in a bad situation, but that's okay. I could like Mallow and Lana here into the Keldeo and then manually retreat in order to heal all of the damage on the Mega Lopunny. That could be really strong. And I think that might actually be the play here. I don't mind that at all. I just will struggle if you do manage to get the 2 energy. Because if you get the 2 energy onto this Mewtwo, there's effectively nothing that I can do to knock it out. I'll be removing all of the energy from my board, which would be really, really tough. So I'm not sure. I could just go Jumping Balloon and hope for the best next turn, and that's probably not a horrible thing to do. I'm gonna poke a gear and we'll just thin a card out.
May as well.
Ends Resolve seems fine. I might play that Ends Resolve. Just get rid of a couple of cards there. Now I've got another powered attacker, so I'm feeling a little bit better again. Yeah, I think does. Oh, I'm just trying to figure out all the ways that I could lose if I don't, if I haven't healed here. I think I just attack. I think that's fine.
Well, it's actually really interesting because I could actually pull off, if I had 1 more energy in play, I could pull off the 6 energy Espeon Deoxys to knock out both tag teams to end the game. But as of right now, I don't think that's going to be an option for me realistically. Yeah, it's going to be tough here. I can obviously take the knockout on pretty much anything you have on board because I've got access to Jumping Balloon this turn. I'm just trying to think of what way can I protect myself for next turn, because you're effectively just going to be a great catcher away from ending the game right now.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to be attaching to the bench and retreating to the bench. Luckily for you, you stamped me out of the welder, so I can't make any spicy welder plays unless I want a Dedenne. So here's what I'm thinking. Right now I'm thinking if you have a great catcher, then you win the game, right? So I want to try and force you to find extra cards to win the game.
Yep, fair enough.
So what I'm thinking of doing here is I'm going to great catcher. Is there anything I can stall active? No, I think the fact that you got that N on the bench is going to put you in a really strong position.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like, if I had only that 1 Metal Energy on the ADP, then it could have been awkward. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be... I've pretty much locked it up as long as I can get the Great Catcher, which at the moment is sitting in my hand, so...
Yep, so yeah, I can Great Catcher, bring up the Keldeo or the ADP, but you've got the retreat options for both of them. May as well bring up the Keldeo. And then I can Cherish Ball forward to Dedenne and draw some cards. Hopefully I would find access to my welder so I could pull off maybe a snipe with Naganadel or an Espeon play for more than just 2 damage counters. But yeah, I think I was pretty much just 1 energy away from having a chance at closing the game out here. If I was able to get three more energy on the active, I'd be okay, but that's not going to be the case, so I'm just going to have to use the GX attack here, I think.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate as well for you, because the fact that you've played that Dedenne down to try and get the welder means that now the Jumpluff can just knock you out if you don't kill it, so...
Well, the play I was actually going for off that Dedenne is I was actually trying to find the welder to pull off the... What's it called? Puffy Smashes GX attack. Would have been able to snipe.
Yep. Do the 200 damage.
Mega Lopunny and put the Keldeo to sleep.
Yep.
And then next turn I would have the game locked up with the Naganadel if you weren't able to find an escape board or a switch. So that's what I was going for, but we had no luck in finding the welder, so might just have to go for Puffy Smashes just for the sleep.
Alright, fair enough.
I think that's going to be my best play.
Well, it's unfortunate because I've got the Mallow Lana and it doesn't
work.
That's alright.
That's alright. That's alright. It didn't matter.
I've got Mallow and Lana will switch.
Yeah, the fact that you had the Keldeo, which is blocking my effects of attacks, and you also had the escape board on the Dialga Palkia and Arceus, means that whichever one I great catch it, you were going to be able to remove the sleep even if you didn't have a switch.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see how many energy I can get on this guy.
Yeah, this was a pretty good game for you. Obviously, me having the Giratina on the bench was forcing you to actually play the game rather than just having a Keldeo on play.
Yeah, exactly.
And, even though it was a 6-0, technically, I feel like that was a super close game still. I was only 1 or 2 cards away from
For sure. If on that turn where I stamped you out of the welder, if you had drawn back into it, then you probably would have been in a very different position. That's a very, very close matchup. That's really, really tough. ADP with Ends Resolve I feel like is really strong, and we're looking at that list on the screen now. I think that it's pretty good. The text version of this list will be in the description as well as the text version of Jordan's list too. How did you think Mewmew went, mate?
Yeah, I was actually really happy with how I was drawing in those games. Obviously, I made a bit of a mistake forgetting to tech for Keldeo, because I don't think there's an option not to play a tech for Keldeo now. The ADP is going to be a pretty popular deck, so you definitely want to be playing either a Turtonator or a Giratina or a Greninja. There's lots of ways to deal with it. I think you definitely need to have at least one of them in your deck, but assuming you do, that matchup seemed very winnable. Both decks kind of have problems dealing with Mega Lopunny, and both decks are playing Mega Lopunny, so it's a super fun matchup.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's going to be interesting to see how both of these go. Obviously, one of them is going to struggle against the new versions of Giratina, whilst the other is going to be quite successful. It just depends on how the meta shapes up as to which of these decks you might consider for your next big tournament. Thanks, Jordan, for coming along and testing this with us.
Not a problem.
And thanks everyone for coming along. If you like the content, consider subscribing. Click the Sableye in the middle of the screen. On the left-hand side, we've got some videos that YouTube thinks you'll like, and on the right, we have our Cosmic Eclipse playlist for more matchups and deck profiles. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at @thesableyes_YT, and we'll see you all next time for more from the Sableyes. Bye.